everyone, I'm Quinn and welcome to Away in Rome. Today I want to tell you about how to look fresh after a long flight. Any amount of time on an airplane can have you looking a little rough, but those longer flights that are 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe even more hours can have you looking like an entire zombie, and I want to keep you from having to deal with that. I don't know about you guys, but after a few hours in the sky, my hair starts to lose its luster, my skin starts to get a little dry, some pimples pop up, and if I'm not careful and I don't get a lot of sleep, I start to get some really dark under eye bags that are very hard to get rid of. So in case you have a meeting to go to right after your flight or a possible romantic interest picking you up, I want to make sure that you look as good as possible when you get to that terminal. I'm just going to start off by putting this all on the table, and if you're not a sweaty person, maybe this isn't for you, but take a change of clothes, specifically a change of underwear for when you get off the flight. After running through the airport, waiting on long lines, taking my huge backpack on and off, I know that I'm not smelling my best, so I like to at least change my shirt and change my underwear so that whenever I'm going to meet the person I'm meeting once I get off my flight, I'm not smelling musty. It had to be said. And I know that my next point is always on lists like these, but the humidity level on planes is super low and you need to have water to be consistently drinking while you're on the flight. Being hydrated on the inside makes a huge impact on how you look and feel. And on the flip side of that, there are also some foods that you want to avoid in order to stay hydrated, particularly processed foods and salty foods. These can have you getting puffy hands, feeling bloated, and just generally uncomfortable, so just avoid those foods as much as you can. Next, for curly folks, specifically black people with kinky and coily hair, if you're going in natural without a protective style, do not wear your hair out on the plane. Like I mentioned before, the air is super dry and it will look completely different from when you step on the plane to when you step off the plane. So I like to have my hair hydrated and in twists, and then once I land, I take my hair out in the airport. I learned my lesson once and I did not need to learn it again. I walked onto a 3-hour flight, only 3 hours with a twist out, and when I came off, it looked like a complete rat's nest and I was devastated. So just make sure that you're looking out for your hair and deal with it once you're on the ground, not in the aircraft. Just make sure that you have any oils or butters that you need readily available in your carry-on so you can judge it up and make it look good. And next, I just want to make sure that you pack lip balm. I'm very partial to Aquaphor. It's super hydrating. It doesn't clog my pores, so I put it on my lips. And also, like any other parts of my face that are feeling pretty dry, I'll just slap that on so that I'm not dealing with that once I'm off the flight. Like I've mentioned already so many times in this video, that air on the flight is brutal, and any semblance of supple lips that you've had will be forgotten if you do not take lip balm with you. So have that ready so that you can combat that. This video that I want to make sure that you absolutely do on your next flight is to have a separate toiletry bag with things that you'll need on the flight and pack that at the top of your personal item. I always travel with 2 toiletry bags, one small one that has everything that I need before I'll leave the airport, and then a bigger one that has everything else. Whatever you pack in the toiletry bag is up to you, but my main point here is to make sure that you have easy access to it. You don't want to be endlessly digging through one of your bags or accidentally put it in a suitcase that you put in the overhead bin, or even worse, accidentally put it in a checked bag. So just make sure that you can get to what you need. I'll share with you what I like to pack in my bag in case you need some ideas. First of all, I like to make sure that I have all of my basic makeup. Nothing too fancy, but just something to make sure that I look awake and fresh when I land. I really like a tinted moisturizer or foundation, some concealer to brighten me up, eyeliner, mascara to make me look awake, some lip tint or lip gloss, and if I'm feeling really fancy, some blush as well. I also really like to have a toothbrush, toothpaste, and floss in that bag. We all know how important oral hygiene is, and after hours on a plane like that, it'll be really rough if you do not have something to wash your mouth out with. I like to have an eye mask or eye cream to keep that area of my face hydrated and just looking fresh. A moisturizing sheet mask or facial spray, again, because dehydration. Some deodorant, because as I mentioned before, one can get really smelly on trips like these. Some cleansing cloths or wipes, and lastly, my entire skincare routine. This one's very important and critical for me because I have acne issues and I need to make sure that I'm very consistent with my routine, especially in a disruptive environment like an aircraft. So when I say my entire skincare routine, I mean absolutely everything. I'm talking my face wash, my toner, my serums, my moisturizers, everything I'm packing, and I'm making sure that I go through it when I'm on the plane. So those are all the things that I make sure that I have in my small toiletry bag that I can access on the plane. And here is my order of operation of how I use all of them on the plane and once I land. An hour or so into the flight, I like to do my entire skincare routine so all the good stuff has some time to sink in and my skin doesn't have too much time to get disrupted by the recycled air. Before I leave the lavatory, I like to put on some eye cream or eye patches to make sure to protect that sensitive part of my face, since that'll show signs of dryness really, really quickly. Towards the end of the flight, I like to put on maybe a moisturizing mask just to give my face an extra hit of hydration. Now, once I land in the airport, that's when things get really serious. I make a beeline for the bathroom and start my process. First of all, I go to the restroom, I get a cleansing cloth, and I just kind of wipe my pits and bits to make sure I don't stink. Change my shirt, change my underwear. Good. At least the base, we're clean, we don't smell. That's the first thing out of the way. Next, I just like to brush my teeth, floss, do all that good dental hygiene stuff so I make sure that I'm smelling fresh when I'm talking to someone. They're not highly offended by how my breath smells. I put on some deodorant to give myself an extra layer of protection, and then I do my entire skincare routine with those items that I mentioned before. And then lastly, with my hair, if I'm going with it natural, I will take out the twist, make sure to shake it out, give it some volume, and then I'm on my way. I'm feeling ready to go, I'm feeling confident, and no matter who I meet in the airport, in the taxi, at my hotel or hostel, I'm feeling good about myself. If there's anything on this list that you think I missed that is absolutely critical, let me know down below and I'll be sure to add it to my list. I know to some people this may seem a little bit excessive, but to me it's just second nature and part of my routine now. I really hope that you're able to incorporate some of these things into how you plan for your trips so that when you touch down in your next destination, you are feeling fabulous and ready to go. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye!